Welcome to the Go Ahead Sis YouTube channel. My name is Mary.
And my name's Nicole.
And we are super excited about sharing our most intimate, real, and raw conversations between millennials, Generation X, and Generation Z.
It's based off of our mentor and mentee relationship, straight right here from my living room. We're passing the baton, connecting the dots between the three generations, and bridging the gaps.
Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a wonderful year. Thank you for tuning back in. Season 2, episode 11.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. We missed you. Welcome back. You should see me. I'm doing a little heart symbol because Mary and I missed you guys so much. So much.
Yes. So today's topic, let's get into it. We are going to talk about
changing the narrative.
Yeah.
This one came about. Do we want to just jump into it?
Sure.
All right. Mm-hmm. So we had a little technical difficulties. So
right, it's like what, the third recording, something like that.
This is like the third recording. So obviously, it's some stuff that's going on that didn't really want us to get this out, but right. We're gonna get this out to you guys. We took our time with recording this year because, when we record, we're always going to come from an authentic and transparent place when we drop stuff. We're not just going to just drop stuff just to be dropping it. It's always going to come from our heart, always. So we're always going to make sure that it comes from a very authentic place. And then with this month, as many of you know, you heard from when I spoke to you guys in December. January was the month that my dad passed away. So last year I really took some time off, and it was the month that I buried him or whatever. So I took some downtime, and Mary and I we both really needed to rest. We just needed to rest or whatever. With that being said, during my meditation time, it was so funny because the earlier last week, I had been meaning to call Mary, but she's so in tune with me, she had ended up calling me. And I was like, did I send you a text? And she was like, no. She was like, I just called you. And so I had told her about, a topic. And she was like, sure. She was like, let's just shoot. And that's how, changing the narrative came about, that God had placed it on my heart, not to look at January as a sad month, but to look at it as a month of celebration, especially because our one and only Mary, her birthday is at the beginning of the month, and we're going to celebrate life, speak life,
Yes.
enjoy life, right? And pave and set the year on, just celebrating that we get to see a new year, because a lot of people didn't make it into 2022.
Yeah.
And with Mary, turning 28 years old, we're going to have her kick it off with, she has so much ahead of her, and just how she's just going to be changing the narrative this year. And
I'm excited, y'all.
Changing the game.
Yes. So, changing the narrative. I mean, first of all, thank you. Thank you for my birthday. Thank you. We celebrated, we partied hard. But for changing the narrative for me this year looks like actually following through and not being hesitant to do what's on my heart, or being scared, or letting fear come in and intimidate me and scare me out of purpose. So I think for me, changing the narrative is, you know what, this year I'm going to actually do it. At least I can say I tried. At least I could say I stepped out and did it and hit big, or did it and miss, but another opportunity presented itself, and then that was the right way to go. So I'm just going to let go. I'm a cliff jump.
Let it go.
Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. Absolutely not. No, because stepping out on something that, or not overcoming a fear or letting go of a fear, it's not easy. we make it seem like I let go of this or whatever. Like, it's during the whole process. It's easy to talk about it after the process is over, but through the process, it is a walk. So,
But I don't
yeah.
be thinking that people be real truthful about what they really go through. People be faking the funk,
Yeah.
especially in this day and age.
Either that they're too scared to talk about it, they're embarrassed to talk about it, or like they give us like a one paragraph summary of what went down for whatever the reason is. But for those who actually tell it like, y'all, I was shaking, we appreciate you, because you let me know that I'm not bugging. This is no, I thought I was doing too much, but it's just the transparency of it will help somebody else.
I'll tell you, for my nonprofit, it was given to me in 2006. I didn't really move on it and make it official until 2015. So that's what, 9 years.
Yeah.
9 years in order to before I moved. So it took me a long time. My nonprofit and my makeup business. All of
Were
it.
you contemplating if you wanted to do it or not?
And I was scared.
Oh, okay, got you.
It was just false evidence appearing real. But then once I got out there, and then I started doing it, I still have moments where I have moments that I'm scared, but I still just do it afraid. Yeah. But I had to change the narrative, because once I looked around and I saw that I was up there with what people considered as the big wigs in the game, and I saw that I was on the same level as them, I was like, oh, okay,
Ain't nothing to but to do it.
yeah, just get out there and just do it. But I had to cliff jump.
Yeah.
So, but then too, I had to like really look up like what changing the narrative was. And it's just really just a story that you tell yourself. And I was just like, so what story am I really telling myself? And it's kind of like, no, it's not kind of. It's like when we was watching Insecure. I like what you said when we were watching Issa in the mirror.
Yeah.
And you said what? When she was in the mirror, when she was always talking to herself in the mirror?
If you guys watch Insecure, Issa always had herself, like it was a reflection of herself, and they were having, I guess, my conversations in her mind. When the Issa in the mirror was talking, I was like, wait, that's the internal Issa. That's what Issa's really thinking about herself. Because Issa in the mirror was a little mean. She was meaner than Issa in real life. But the Issa in the mirror was basically just her mind. How she felt in her mind about herself. What she thought in her mind about herself. So she was going back and forth with thoughts about herself. But how they displayed it, which was very creative, I guess the entire show, they made it so relatable, where it's like, I see why the title's called Insecure. Because in some area of our lives, we're all insecure. Like, it's nothing big to fathom and nothing too hard to comprehend. Like, in some area of our lives, whether it's career, financial, looks, or personality, we're going to feel scared in some area. But it's up to us if we want to encourage ourselves or talk down to ourselves about it.
I love that. And she even because Mary and I watched that episode together. Well, I watched it for like a second time. So it makes me think of this question. What needs to change in me to respond the way that I want? And that was like a question that she asked herself in order for her to get to where she was. So I asked both of us that question. So what would you say? What needs to change in me to respond the way that we want? And for me, you can go first.
I would say for me, it would be consistency and just being disciplined consistency and discipline is the same thing. So yeah, I would say those two packed into one. It would be discipline, just being disciplined to be consistent. Yes.
Yeah.
And trying whatever it is and going forth with whatever it is. Just be consistent. Because but I had a tendency, if I was on the road, I'd be on the road for a good minute. And then something would happen. I'll get distracted. I don't know if y'all saw the meme where it's like a little butterfly. And you're like, ooh, the butterfly. Like, that would be me with whatever the task was. And I'm like, but just being disciplined to be consistent.
For me, I would say it's trust. Just trusting myself. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else.
Yeah.
It's just me, trusting me. Like I went on this journey. It started last year, and I was telling you about it, where I went I'm plant-based.
Yeah.
And the steps for me was, as Mary said, I was determined, consistent, and I was focused and consistency, right? So, and I had to do research.
Yeah.
And I had to write it down, meaning I had to find recipes. I had to find, a community that supported what I was doing. I had to change the narrative. I had to find out what certain foods did to my body.
Oh yeah, that's the big one.
That was the big one, even down to like when we went out to like a restaurant last night.
What they put in it.
I have to ask those questions. So using that example, I had to do the necessary work in order to prepare my body and prepare my mind and get supplements to help my body. Yeah. So, and I had to trust myself.
Yeah.
To get the job done. And I had to get a picture of how I saw myself.
Yep. And that just showed how changing the narrative is not only just words, but changing the narrative is a lifestyle. It's not something that you just speak, but it's something that you act on. It. You can change the narrative in your personality. You can change the narrative in your health journey. You can change the narrative. Whatever that season looks like for you, you can change the narrative. It's never too late.
It's never too late. Yeah.
I like that. That was a good example.
What would you say that you're demanding like must happen in order for you to change the narrative?
What must happen in me in order to change it? I would just have to. I just have to make up my mind to do it. Decision, not being indecisive.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it.
Yeah. What would you say that makes you be indecisive?
If I have various options, or like I have different choices of like what I want to do. Like, for example, for me, if there's a menu in front of me, I can get indecisive. So I have to make a decision whether or not I'm going to like the meal to take this one meal. If I don't like it, hit or miss. But I can't keep having the other person I'm with wait for me to keep making up my mind. And I'm like, oh, no, wait. No, can I change it to... So just being decisive on one thing and just trust your gut. Not being indecisive and just trusting yourself that you're going to make the right decision. What about for you?
It's just to know that I'm going to have a smooth landing, like when I do something, whatever I do.
Right.
Like there's never I heard something and I hold it very dear to me. You never lose. It's always you win or it's a lesson. And that's something like I literally have to write that down and keep that in front of me. That you never lose.
It's either a win.
It's either a win or either it's something that you learn. And that's how I have to look at life, because most people look at it as a disappointment, like if it's something that you don't get.
Right.
And so that's my takeaway from life now as a lesson.
There's something I can gain out of this.
Yeah.
There's always a gain. I won't look at it as a defeat, but if it was a one lesson here, I'm gonna take that lesson. If it was 5 lessons, I'm gonna take it, and it's gonna make me better.
So as you change the narrative, how have you prepared your thinking to either help work for you? How have you prepared your thinking to help work for you instead of against you?
For me to help me to do what's best for me, I have to like speak over myself, like affirmations. For me, it's Mary, you're going to do this and you're going to do well at it. You're going to do this and you're going to do well at this. People have complimented you in this. They wouldn't compliment you if you couldn't do this. So you can do this. Let's get it together. You got this. You're tripping right now. But girl, you got... So, and for me, it would be stuff like trying to coach myself. Like it's about to be a game. And I'm like, all right, we can do this. Yeah.
You know what's so funny that you say that? So I recently, it's been about a month, I got a journal. And I got pictures of myself or pictures of different situations. And I apply affirmations to them. And so when those moments like come to mind, or say like if those moments are bothering me,
Right.
I go and I speak to them with those affirmations. But I have a journal specifically for affirmations with those pictures. So say, for example, with changing the narrative. So say, for example, if I have moments about childhood, I have pictures of my childhood.
Right.
And so I have affirmations about my past.
Right.
Speaking to my past. And I have those pictures applied to them. And I speak to those situations while looking at those pictures. So that's something new that I've actually started doing, with speaking to my past.
So that would be like me, like say if it was me at, I don't know, let's say 8, and I felt like
I
felt rejected or whatever. I would look at that picture and say, your feelings are important, or okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what I started doing, to speaking to, if it's my 8-year-old self or my 17-year-old self, wherever those moments that I felt like I needed to speak to that person, are that whatever age, I got a picture and I started speaking affirmations.
Oh, I never heard of that. Well, that's new.
Yeah. And so journals really helped me.
Yeah.
And writing has really been beneficial to me.
Yeah, I gotta write. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can't make affirmations on your own, just Google.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Google affirmations for whatever, like your past or family or whatever, relationships or whatever area that you need help in, insecurity, whatever the area is. And then just pull, all you need is like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And for me, because I'm a visual learner, I'll pull a picture of myself or whatever that situation is, and then apply the affirmations to them.
Right.
To help me change the narrative, to see myself. And then and then you can apply a picture to how you want to see yourself.
Next to the.
Yeah.
Wow. That's some deep stuff.
Yeah. Because you got to get a picture of how you want to see yourself.
Yeah. Vision boards are important. That's what I heard.
Yeah. So it's like you're creating like a visual journal.
And you actually change the narrative from your past too. Not only for your future, but you did like the 3-1, your past, your present, because you're helping your present you're helping your present by going back to the past, and then you're talking to your future now.
Yeah.
You killed 3 birds with one stone.
Yeah. And you can do that with weight loss. You can do that with healing, like with your parents, whatever area. You can always change the narrative and heal whatever area in your life. That's the power of who we are as human beings.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said earlier about your mouth and the words that you speak, because your body will always follow the last words that come out of your mouth.
So, with changing the narrative, I know some people might say, all right, so I hear you guys talking. Is this like a 3-step process thing? Can I get a course and I'll be good? Can I reverse like what happened in the next 10 years? I mean, what happened 10 years in like 5 months? So, what do you think? Is this a time period thing? Is this a step thing? Or is this a life thing?
For me, it's however much time you spend with it. So for me, for me, it's your habits. That, like for the example that I use, when I changed my lifestyle and the way that I eat, it's a lifestyle change for me. So not only did I have to change the way my mindset and how I thought about food, I had to change how I shop for food. I had to change my habit. I had to do research, consistency, dedication. I had to change my community. I couldn't be around the same things, the same people. I had to read. I had to educate myself, renew my mind. Like I said, I journaled.
Yeah.
You have to change. It's a lifestyle change.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle change.
So what you're saying is what you put in is what you get out. So the quality of what you put in is the quality of what you get.
And most people, they want a microwave type thing, and it's not a microwave type thing. You have to invest.
If it's worth it, it's worth the investment.
It's worth the investment. I have books, even when we were in the mall, you saw me stop by the Amazon store to check out some books
Yeah.
to educate myself. It's a lifestyle change. Everything is a lifestyle change. Even with you, if you were to go back to school, it's a
Yeah.
lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Even with me being in the beauty industry, it's a lifestyle change. You have to educate yourself. Yeah. You can't just go in just all willy-nilly,
Yeah.
just off the top of the dome. It's an investment. It's going to cost you something.
Agreed. I hope y'all wrote that down. But I love that. It's
So
a
what-
lifestyle investment.
Yeah. So what is your takeaway with changing the narrative?
For me, it's
And even going back to when we were talking about the whole Insecure Issa Rae season 5.
oh yeah. For me, it's watch how you talk to yourself. Encourage yourself. First of all, believe in yourself. And once you believe in yourself, you talk to yourself nicer. You'll encourage yourself because you believe in yourself. Shift your focus from what ifs to even if. So instead of what if I don't do this, or even if I try this and it doesn't, even if I do this and I do succeed. So instead of a question mark with a what if, a comma is an even if. So at least that's like how if that makes sense. So what if it's like a fear question mark or whatever, but even if this works out and I do succeed, or even if this doesn't work out, another way will present itself, or another direction will present itself. So I think for me, it's just consistency. Be consistent about what you want. Find out what you want. Believe in yourself to achieve it. Get right community to encourage you and to push you. And you can go back and you can't change the past, but you can learn from the past and progress past that.
Yeah. And you are worth the investment. Trust yourself. Trust your internal instinct. Everyone has an internal GPS, an internal instinct that will lead them and guide them, to the right place. Where they must be.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're worth the investment. And I wish someone told me that, when I was much younger. I've discovered that as I've matured, yeah, you're worth the investment. Just trust yourself. As I've learned that.
Yeah.
I've learned that along the way. Just trust yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we put so much trust in other people, we don't even put trust into ourselves.
And why would you trust somebody else's word, our belief, and not trust your own? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you believe in yourself more than what somebody else believe in you? There's almost 8 billion people in the world. And there's nobody that walks the earth. You're the only person that walks the earth with your fingerprint out of 8 billion people. You're unique. Why wouldn't you be special? If you really process that should blow you away.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think if everybody was to really sit down and just process that, and really process,
nobody like you.
Yeah, that there's nobody like you that walks the earth out of 8 billion people. Nobody.
Yeah.
I think that should speak for itself, and that you should give 0, you know what,
About what people think about you.
About what people think about you.
Yeah.
When you know that nobody has your fingerprint. Nobody. That should make you change the narrative in every room that you walk in, because you have arrived.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I like watching The Matrix.
Oh yeah, I remember that movie.
Right. When he stepped into when he knew who he was.
Yeah.
And he had doubts. That's another good movie too. And he doubted himself, And he didn't step into it until he started to believe.
Yep.
It wasn't when Morpheus or anybody else believed. It was when he started to believe.
Yep.
Right. And when he believed, that's when his power came.
That's when things turned around for him.
Right. And it's the same thing. Things will not begin to run smoothly until you step into who you are.
Yeah.
And know that.
Not pretend to be either.
Right. That you're the only one walking this earth with your own fingerprint. So that on that note.
That should make you feel, pop your collar.
So your takeaways.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Speak nicely to yourself. Encourage yourself. And if you have a dream, if you have a goal, go for it. You won't know until you try.
And trust in yourself.
Yeah.
And that's it, folks. That's all we have for you. We just want to quickly come on here and just love on you because, like I said, we missed you. And, we had that quick message about changing the narrative, and we wanted to kick off the year right with, celebrating our beautiful Mary, celebrating her birthday. Stop by her IG and show her some love. Give her a birthday shout out.
A month later. No time like the present. They're going to be like, it's a whole month later.
Anyway, y'all, we love y'all.
Later.
Want to big up and thank you for rocking with us and tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed this conversation.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Oh, and definitely share with a friend.
Oh, and don't forget to follow our Instagram handles down below.
So until next time, go ahead, sis.